the uh, space difference, because America is so big
Yes.
and Taiwan is small. So, for example, the houses in here are very cute. They are just one, but Taiwan is one and one and one. Yeah, and yeah, I think it's the space difference is the biggest, and the other difference when we talk about people, I think uh, American people talk more frankly, just more directly. Yeah, and because Chinese culture are more. I don't know how to say that in Chinese, but the
Like conservative?
yeah
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely. We are very blunt people. We'll tell you everything. So, how old were you when you started to learn English?
About 9 or 10. But I think when I learned English in late age, it doesn't help much. It didn't help much until I studied in junior high school, and I went to Korean schools. Yeah, and from last time, I became realized what I learned,
Okay.
what is English. Yeah.
Were you able to use it more often?
You was that
Use the language?
In daily life, basically not yet, and I use English language often in class or in test, and 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 they are mainly in writing and reading.
Yeah. So, do you have like a favorite book that you read do you read like chapter books and everything in English or in your native language?
Was that the book I read?
Yeah. Is it in like your language, in
In
Chinese
my
or
language.
in yours?
Yeah, but now the now I am studying calculus by myself, and I use the English book.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like a textbook?
Yeah. Textbook I use English.
I don't even think I took that class. I can't even imagine. So how do you perceive your proficiency in English?
Perceive my proficiency in English.
How well do you think you speak English?
How what?
How well?
How well? I think not very well. Yeah, because we have few chances to practice English, especially in oral expression. Yeah, and listening. So until I came to America. So and I before I came to here, I think my listening skill is not it's bad. Yeah. Yeah, compared to my writing and reading skill,
Yeah.
my listening skill is really bad. Yeah, I didn't know what you are
Yes.
Yeah, you are just blah 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 blah. Blah. I can only understand the opening and the ending of a sentence. Yeah,
Okay.
and you're dun 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 blah 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 dun dun dun. Yeah, and after 2 weeks, just I came here for about 2 weeks, and I can, I can, I can feel my listening skill is greatly improved. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it helps when you're put into that culture and you have to communicate that way.
Yeah, because uh, I I just I'm just immersed in this
Yes.
environment whole day, and so
Do you speak
Yeah.
English at home with Dr. Chen, or you guys speak
in Chinese.
You speak in Chinese.
But actually I want to speak English with her, but maybe weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's very fast, I feel like, sometimes. I love having her as a teacher, though. She's really good. So, so you know Chinese, right? Is your native, is this what you speak at Taiwan?
Yeah.
So that's a bad question. It's a weird one. Sorry, my teacher wrote all these questions we had to ask. So I'm like, that's weird.
Okay, it's okay.
So, why did you start to learn English?
I think there are two reasons. And first, because everybody learns English. And second, because English is an international language, and most information, on the internet are English.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I do some research, English skill is basic. Yeah.
Interesting. So it's all of your internet is pretty much in English, or
Oh, you say when I do research, what language will I?
yes.
Oh, uh, there are different kinds of conditions, and if the okay, can you wait? Let me think.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're fine.
If the information is urgent for me, then I will research. I will search in Chinese. But if I have time to search, then I will look English pages. Yeah.
Okay. So, what kinds of support did you receive in your environment back home towards learning English?
There are two access to learn English from me, and the first one is school teacher. But but I think it didn't help me a lot. And what influenced me most is cram school.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Cram school.
Cram?
CRAM.
What is that?
Oh, I think it is a special class, and Mm, and cram school is an additional class after school,
Okay.
and so we attend cram school often in night or in weekend or on weekend. And cram school, you can okay, let me think how to introduce cram school, because here I think America has no any cram school.
No.
Yeah. Mm, Basically, cram schools help us learning better.
Okay.
Yeah. So they will focus uh on a subject, on how to improve your academic performance. So if the teacher of the cram school is good, then you will learn very well. But because there are many cram schools, so there are also bad teachers. And if you are taught by those teachers, then the result is not well. Yeah.
So you think that you've had a good teacher in your...
Yes.
That's... How long have you been going to that?
Do you know the education system of Taiwan?
No.
Okay, and we have elementary school
Okay.
for 6 years, from 7 to 12,
Okay.
and then junior high school for 3 years, and then senior high school for 3 years, and then university.
Okay.
Okay, and I started to go to cram school when I was when I entered the junior high school. So it's when I was 12, and until now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have the same teacher every year, or does it change?
Let's basically it's the same teacher,
Okay.
but the same teacher in junior high school and the other teacher in senior high school. So I have two teachers. Yeah.
So you've only had two teachers. And then Dr. Chen has said that you guys have, for elementary school, you have the same teacher for like 2 years? Or is she talking about something else?
Oh,
During your...
does she said school or the cram school?
First school.
Oh, first
So
school.
do you have...
Elementary school.
Yeah, elementary.
Oh, it's another. Okay. I said the elementary school in Taiwan is 6 years, and we will change classmates and change teachers in every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
But because I stayed in special class, so I didn't change my classmates and teachers.
So you had the same teacher all through?
From grade 3 to grade 6.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, and the special class is for talented students. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we had to pass the exam to enter the special class.
So once you have passed that exam, you're in it for the rest of your schooling.
Mm.
That's all right. Is it the same way in high school and your junior high school? Or will you still be in that special class
Yeah.
as you can go on?
Some particular schools have the special class, and they also have an exam to pass. Yeah, and I all passed.
Okay.
Yeah, so from my elementary school to senior high school, I always stayed in special classes. Yeah.
So how long are your school days?
How long?
Yes.
How many years
Or how many hours in a day?
Okay. Uh. Mm, about 8 to 9 hours a day. From 7 or 8 a.m. to 4 or 5 p.m.
That's a long day.
Yeah.
Do you go to school all year or do you have breaks?
Oh, we have two breaks, and one is summer vacation in July and August, and the other is in February. Yeah. And because February is during the Chinese New Year.
Okay.
Mm.
So that would kind of equate to like our Christmas break that we take.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So is that like the whole month of February that you're off or just part of it?
The summer vacation, July and August, are two whole months.
Mm-hmm.
But the winter vacation are shorter. It's shorter, and it's about 3 to 4 weeks, and generally it's from January. January have 4 weeks, and let's start it from the third week
Okay.
of January to the second week of February.
Wow. Yeah, our kids have 2 weeks off for their winter break. In December is ours.
Oh, in here?
Yeah, so they only get 2 weeks.
Only 2 weeks?
The kids at school, like the schools here, it's about over a month that we have off. But at the schools, they only get 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
But our summer vacation starts in June.
Oh, from June.
Yeah, so all of the students in this county will get off in June, and they'll get off like the second week of June is their last week of school. Then they go back like the last week of August. So that's how ours is. So, all right. What was the first sentence or word that you remember learning in English?
The first sentence. Oh, I have to think. And maybe I should also tell you my point of view toward learning English. I said just now I said I have learned English from I was 9 to 8. Yeah, and last time I was in the elementary school, and last time actually I also attend the Korean school, but the Korean school is not you can say this Korean school is open for children. So when they are teaching, their teaching includes many games or something else to inspire children to learn. But because learning a language is not an easy thing. So that methods I think do not help me. Yeah. So the first time I learned English, I think it's funny, but it's fun. But I can feel my English ability is improved. Yeah, until I participated in a more professional class.
So a more professional class, as in your cram?
Yeah, cram school in my junior high school, and when I was in junior high school and senior high school. Yeah.
So is there like a class in your elementary school that just taught you English? Did you have like an English subject?
Wait, can you ask again?
So in elementary school,
Yeah.
they start teaching you English.
Yeah, they taught me English.
Is that a subject or like a time period in your day that you focus on?
Is the topic they taught, or?
Yeah, how is it taught? I think it was very easy from A, B, C, D to, and when I was 9 and 10, their teaching was easy. But when I was 11 and 12, they turned to very difficult. I don't know why. They even taught. I don't know how to speak that, but I can take some examples. Oh, okay. May I look up go ahead.
dictionary? Okay, I can. In imperative sentence.
Okay. Is that what it moved to?
Yeah, but last time I thought that was too difficult for me because I even didn't build a complete concept of English grammar. And suddenly you taught me the imperative sentence. I didn't know what it is.
And English grammar is difficult.
Yeah.
It's very...
English grammar is difficult for the one who just learn English yeah, who is a beginner.
Yes.
Yeah. But after learning the grammar, I think the grammar is the key to learning English. Because compared to Chinese, English language is more the structure of the sentence is more tense or yeah, and because Chinese language is a highly evolved language, so you might see a Chinese sentence. There are 2 or 4 verbs in a sentence, but there are only 1 verbs in English sentence. Yeah, so when I first learned the English, it was necessary for me to understand how an English sentence works. Yeah.
I had trouble. I had to go to tutoring when I was little because grammar was not my thing. But once I had more the one-on-one, it helped a lot. So what was the easiest part of learning English?
The easy part. For me, maybe reading, because after I basically understood the grammar, the rules of English sentence, reading is not a difficult thing.
So do you have, do they teach you vocabulary, just words in English?
Oh, we have vocabulary books, and we will memorize it every week.
Are your verb tenses different than ours?
Oh, Chinese have no tense, have no verb tense. So, my English teacher have said there are 2 points we Chinese people can understand first time. One is the tense, the verb tense is was, will, let, and the second is I can't take example because I don't know how to say that in English. I met a man who blah 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 blah. Who blah blah blah. Yes.
Like the connecting.
Okay, let me look out the later. Okay. Relative close.
Okay.
Because Chinese language has no relative clause, and I have also read an article, and that article indicates a very surprising fact that Chinese is a very special language, because among very different language like Spanish, French, and English, just Chinese has no relative clause. So if we want to describe a thing, and we have to put the whole relative clause to before the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know, so sometimes the Chinese sentence is difficult to understand because they are too long. Yeah, and so contrary to, so English language are more clear.
What would you say was the most difficult thing you had to learn about English in English?
I want to answer this question in two different. Okay. The first one is now for me. I think the most difficult part of for me is speaking, because speaking is very instant. Yeah, and it is related to the thinking status in the moment. Yeah, at the moment, and because I am Chinese language for my native language, and so sometimes I will think in Chinese thinking, the way of the thinking way of Chinese. So if I just directly translate the Chinese to English, that will be very weird.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have to switch my status to the English thinking, and it's if I have time, then it's okay. But if I have no time, then my brain will be out of work. Yeah. So I think the speaking is the most difficult part for me now. But if in my imagination, I think the most difficult part for me in my life will be writing, because if I want to be very very proficient in English, in English writing, I think it's very hard, because the daily conversation is far cry from the literature.
Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes I read the English literature, I would find that they are difficult to understand. Not only the structure of the sentence, but also their meanings. Yeah, so I think this part will be the. Oh, and the other thing is, I think English language is concise, and okay, wait. Westerners and Easterners, the way of thinking of them are totally different. So when I'm writing, just like speaking, I have to switch to the English mode, but it's difficult for me. Yeah, and writing is more difficult than speaking. I think.
Yeah. I took French in high school, which is not a good time to learn a second language. And that's what I would have to do is like I'd try to translate it from English to French in my
Yeah.
mind, and it just never worked because they have all these different tenses, and I never truly understood it. And then I went to France, and it didn't really help me either. So, what strategies worked for you when you were learning English?
Okay, let me think. I think there are two main strategies, and one is lot of reading, and the other one is memorize good sentence or good articles. And should I explain why?
Yeah, so
Okay.
why do you say that?
Okay. Okay, the first thing, a lot of reading. But I think it's easy to understand. If you learn a language, just read the article or anything or books or just lots of reading, and you will gradually know. You will be gradually familiar to the language. I think here is a point that because in a grammar lesson, actually we wouldn't learn the every kind of sentence in a grammar lesson, so we can only through reading. And sometimes I will sometimes I will find, hey, why this sentence I think it's weird, but no one said it is wrong, so it is correct, but no one have taught me it is correct, but I, I, I just read it.
Yeah.
Yes, so through reading I can get more familiar to the English.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the second one is to memorize good articles or good sentences. It's this strategy. My senior high school, the cram school in my senior high school, the teacher taught me. The teacher taught writing. Yeah, and his writing skill is very very good. Because the English teacher lived in New York in his childhood, and his English is very very good, even better than America. Yeah, America. And he said, don't think memorizing articles or sentences will deprive your creation. Instead, if you memorize it, then when you are writing, you will mm, mm, you will use the sentence naturally, and each sentence just becomes yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because good sentence uh, mm, okay, let me think. Okay. Uh, mm, just like you will read Shakespeare or yeah, some writer's book, and there are always some good sentence. Yeah, and people always people will talk about them. So indeed, they are worth memorizing. Yeah.
That's interesting. So, what motivated you to learn English? What has helped you continually to want to learn this language?
I think the most interesting part to learning English for me is that I can explore this world better through this tool, English language. Yeah, because when I was in junior high school, I want to learn. Wait, I want to learn computer science to write some softwares. And last time, I learned that Steve Jobs also learned computer science by himself when he was 9. So I find a textbook and it's English. So I started to read it. And I found it's very difficult for me because I have maybe one I have to keep looking up to dictionary. Yeah, and last time, I think, wow, Steve Jobs is so lucky. He's born American. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he will know. He, there is no obstacle for him to read English, but for for us, for me, it's it's a wall. I have to break it. Yeah. So after I started after I started learning English, the the wall is gradually broken, and so I can through this window to look around this world.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think it's very thrilled for me. Yeah.
So, is that something that you're interested in still? Is creating like computer software?
Oh, but now I'm not very interested in
No,
that.
not anymore.
Yeah.
So, how has learning English benefited you?
Mm, mm, okay. First, I can see the whole world, just like I've said before. And second, I think learning English can can improve my logic because I have also said the logic of English sentence is stronger than Chinese sentence. So yeah, it helped me to improve my logic. And the third, uh, if because it's a um, because now it is a era of global village, so we have lots of opportunities to meet people from every countries in this world, and learning English. If my English is well, then I will be very confident to talk with them, to um, okay, I have to think how to express. Okay. um, to make for example, if I met foreigners and we talk in English. If my English is bad, then I think our conversation will stay in hi, hello, hello, just very skinny. But if my English good, our talks can be deeper. Yeah.
So is this the first like opportunity that you've really had to use English in like real world settings?
Oh, not the first time. In my junior high school, I have participated in a global math competition in Taiwan, and but last time, but my English was not well then, so I'm afraid of talking to others. And last year, I represent Taiwan to participate in the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair. It's also a international competition, the biggest science fair in the world. Yeah, and also I had practiced, but I'm still afraid because I was afraid of not understanding what you are talking to me. Yeah. And that's embarrassing because if I kept asking you what you are talking about? Can you speak again? Pardon. Yeah, that's very embarrassing. So I'm afraid. Then, but now, after came here for about 2 weeks, uh, my confidence is growing. Yeah, and I think, yeah, maybe in the future I will keep it. I will keep improving my listening and speaking skill.
That's awesome, though. That you were able to represent your country. That's pretty cool. I don't know. You're the first person I've ever met to do something like that. So, what situations do you avoid using English? What situations
Okay.
do you not want to speak English?
Oh, it's an interesting question. I've never thought about it. Basically not. Eh? Uh, Now I can come up with any situation that I should avoid using English.
So, do you try to use English as much as possible, or I mean, at least here you try to.
In where?
Just in general, like what situations at home do you use English in?
You know, speaking English is still a difficult thing for me. So most of the time I will speak English because it's my comfort zone. And so I should seize every opportunity I can speak English, but actually I can't do that because my willpower is not very strong to make me step out my comfort zone. But I hope after this trip, yeah, and when I came back to Taiwan, I will you know what I'm going to say. Yeah. I do really seize the opportunity to sharp my English. But yeah, before in the past, I seldom speaks English. Yeah.
But do you think after having this experience,
Yeah,
you'll speak it more?
I will speak more, and
All right. So, how has your Chinese culture influenced your, I guess, mind, your cultural thinking of
how to
our language,
okay,
our country,
okay,
not language?
I think the most influence is that I will I can't help but think think in Chinese way. And for example, when when I was writing an article or an essay, and sometimes I will I will come up with a Chinese sentence in my mind and translate it into the English. But I think the correct way is just directly use English. Yeah, think English sentence in my mind and write in the paper. Yeah, but it's hard to avoid. But yeah, it's need practice. So concluded, I think the influence is it's hard to avoid thinking in Chinese way, and it will influence my expression. Yeah, in Chinese way. Yeah.
So, I think I asked you this before, but yeah, I did. I'm not gonna ask that one again.
Okay.
So, you said, when you're here, are you anxious to speak English in any situations? Are you like nervous to speak English ever? Yes, here.
In here. Now I don't.
No.
No. Because I found when I spoke a sentence, I would instantly find, oh, there was a grammar error in my sentence, but you can understand.
Yes.
Yes. So it's not because I think for anyone who started to speak English first time, they were afraid of speaking wrong. But now I found it's just never mind.
Yeah.
just try to say.
All right, and this was the last question.
Okay.
All right, so do you believe that you are a good language learner?
Good. If the top grade is 100, I think I can have 70. Yeah, 70%. So basically yes, but not very top.
And why is that?
Because sometimes I will be lazy. I would be lazy to memorize vocabulary or do something I know I have to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely feel you with the lazy part. I feel like I've gotten there this semester. Alright. Thank you so much for doing this. I
Okay.
really appreciate it. I hope it wasn't, I feel like I overwhelmed you. I hope I didn't overwhelm you. It's a lot of talking. Alright. Okay. Sorry, I was saving that.
Mm.
Well, I hope, so how much longer are you here for?
I will stay in here until the end of May.
Wow. It's a long time.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll get really good English from that. I think your English is really good now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can understand you perfectly. So you're good.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for doing